guys, how's it going? So on today's video, I figured that I could have a little topic to talk about, something that's been on my mind this week in particular. I figured some of these videos are going to be that way, something that I've overcome over the course of the week in my business and art career and different thoughts on how to move forward. So this week I posed the question that says, what makes you stop creating art? The kind of art and projects you really want to create. Not in the, you just need a plan or carve out more hours in the day. What is that thing that really bothers you, worries you, or otherwise prevents you from creating? I came up with this idea because I have a few different things I've mentioned in my last video as well that kind of are preventing me from moving forward with certain different kind of projects that I have. As far as my response, I'll just go ahead and read it because I feel like it says everything that I need to say. So, the thing that prevents me from moving forward with any of the dozen or so projects that I've started is apathy. Not from me, but my intended audience. I'm alone a lot. And when I wake up, I'm alone. When I drive to work, I'm alone. When I get home, I'm alone. When I go to sleep, I'm alone. People reach out sometimes, but only ever so often. Only as much as they can in their busy lives. They're busy, I'm busy, and you can only make so much room for so many people in a day. When I talk to people in person, I feel my stories are what connects me to them. The thing that makes people laugh or seek a different perspective or even just sit and learn about something they haven't experienced before. But I feel like there's this void around my art, like it only has so much reach. I've been trying to make a really, really solid go of this art career thing since at least 2010, 2009. I've seen countless peers shoot up into our circle's superstardom, whereas I'm left here basically where I started. I don't get why this is this way for me, but I'm always willing to blame myself, because if I'm the reason that this is happening, then I can do something to change it. If it's some other nebulous reason, I can't necessarily change those things. So I'd rather not concentrate on them. I think part of it is that I've put stuff out there for a long time with rather lackluster results. In every quantifiable sense of the term, financially, social media size, the number of likes, kind of all of it. So I give up because I feel like no one cares. Like, I'm all alone in this because clearly I feel that way in my daily life, so why not have that extended to my professional life too? Right? Like, kind of makes sense, but here's the other thing. I could work on a project, finish it, and put it out there. I have. I've done it before. Really not to a great success. And that's been fine for the most part, since none of these things I've put out there have had any great extension of my soul or really required me to be vulnerable emotionally in any way. But something I'm truly terrified of, what I wouldn't really be able to deal with, is working on a project, putting it out there, being vulnerable, and then being met with apathy. Silence. Nothing. No one caring about me, my story, or my life. So I'm paralyzed with fear of no one caring, a fear that actually has been realized time and time again with seemingly every project I've been attached to. It seems even more likely to happen again since it's happened before. Law of averages or whatever. And I think that's the thing that keeps me from really getting any deeper with my art, really telling my story or sharing it with a greater audience. It's so scary to share it to be met with possible criticism. But what's even worse for your life's work is just to be ignored. So that was my comment, and I felt like it pretty much well summarized how worried I am about people not caring about what I do. It's just I've had a lot of experience with a lot of different projects and different things that I've tried online. And granted, I probably haven't given the best heave-ho as far as trying it for long enough for it to really pick up traction, but it's kind of one of those things that happens where you put it out there, you don't get a lot of attention for it, so you try to keep pushing, but you're still not really getting any attention, so then you really kind of just sit there and go, why am I even doing this? No one seems to care. And that kind of really kills your motivation to really just do it anyway, just for the love of the project. I think I haven't really had that project that really powerful project that's pushed me beyond that point of worrying about what other people think or whether it gets traction or attention is because if I get no attention for the things that I think are really good, I really like them, but maybe it's just, just a random picture of a random thing, then I feel even more vulnerable being vulnerable and then also not getting that attention. And like I said, because I've experienced it over and over again, it feels like it's just going to happen again. And why would I want to put myself through that? One of the things that I've really been kind of fighting and resisting and wanting to work towards but not being able to is that I had a comic project that I wanted to start that kind of showed different aspects of my life. Well, I didn't necessarily want my likeness as the main character, so I came up with this anthro character to represent me. But then that came with a whole slew of other kind of quandaries I had with doing that. The general perception of anthro characters, and would people take it seriously if it was just so far removed from being human, and just a lot of other things that I just couldn't really push myself out of that. Well, after I wrote this post, I kind of had a little mini epiphany, and one of the things I realized was this side project I had, a kind of comic that I was going to run alongside that slice of life comic, was one that did have my likeness, but also took place in a completely fantasy world context, and I was just kind of all at once realized, oh, I could totally put aspects of what's happened to me in this fantasy comic, and then, hey, I'm basically killing two birds with one stone. I get to tell my story, I get to maintain a sense of who I am through the story by sharing my likeness, and at the same time, I can kind of fudge parts that I don't really want to share or didn't quite happen the way that they really happened, but I still want to get some part of the story out anyway. Well, that was such a big relief to me that I'm actually really excited about working on this comic now. I went ahead and opened up Notepad and just wrote down a bullet list. It's actually kind of short, but I basically got through everything I wanted to tell in my story. And now it's actually kind of more fun because I invented different characters and how do those characters come into the story and still work in these plot points that I want to make into the whole entire story. And now it's fun for me, and now I'm excited to move forward with it, whereas before I was just paralyzed with this fear that I couldn't do this because, this reason or that reason or whatever. Basically, I was just worried that people would make fun of me, which is kind of weird because it's never really even happened before. So why am I so worried about something that's not even really a real issue? So, yeah, I felt like that was a really big win for me this week, that I ended up moving past something that I had been really, really worried about, really, really concerned about. And now I feel like I can finally do the thing that I might be really passionate about. And suddenly I really don't care if I even get an audience for it. I just want to do it. And I've kind of never really had that. I've always been concerned about numbers, always been concerned about having an audience and growing the fan base, because I know with a certain number of fans to your work, you can get a certain amount of income, and with enough income, you can do what you love full time, and that is really my goal. So it kind of makes me mad when people say, oh, don't worry about numbers don't matter, blah, blah, blah. Those people probably already have their heart projects. I'm just going to put that out there. They probably already know what they really want to say in their art and what they really want to speak to. Somebody without that just feels almost insulting because they have what they love. They know what their goal in life is to accomplish, is to do this thing that they're working on. Whereas if you don't have that, all you have are numbers, because all you want is to be able to do what you like to do as your full-time career, even if you don't know exactly what it is that you love about it yet. So, everything in moderation, I guess. It's good to keep an eye on your numbers. It's good to start trying to grow your business and think about your art as your business. But it's also good to sit and think and really kind of ponder the aspects of what it is to do your art and what it is that you want to say and what it is that you really want to tell in your story. And that can take a really long time. I've been doing, like I said, I've been doing art really, really professionally since about 2009, which is very nearly 10 years now. And because I've been so distracted, I've been doing this thing, that thing, can't really seem to make up my mind on any one thing I should focus on. And even last week I said I had a fear of focusing on one thing because I was afraid I'd be trapped by it. But once you find something that you're really passionate about, then I feel like that sense of being trapped starts going away rather quickly. It definitely has for me, even between this week and last week. Hopefully that's something. Hopefully you can get something from that. I definitely want to hear if you're struggling through that too. Have you had a project that you've been really excited about but maybe afraid to share because of a certain reason or certain kind of fear? If so, and you feel like sharing, I'd love to be able to hear about it. Thanks for listening. Bye.